Hello, hello, hello. Welcome
Good
everybody
morning.
to our beautiful, energetic, casual tea with myself and the beautiful Starla. Whoop. So we are coming to you guys today, post the election, our
Oh my
beautiful
gosh.
win. I think we're gonna call this Trump victory or some kind of update. Starla and I haven't been able to chat properly since, so you're getting us raw and unfiltered in our beautiful chat today. It's so lovely to have you with me this morning. If you want to introduce and do your highs for everybody.
Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning here in Colorado, United States. Lots of snow dumping, electric problems this morning. This is as organic as it can get. I've not been able to connect with you, and I'm so excited to just catch up with you and chat. My name is Starla, and I love each and every one of you with my whole heart. So I'm just so excited to get started because I believe we're on the brink of a wonderful, wonderful transition.
So I have to tell you, I have been so emotional. So I'm gonna just
Oh,
share my story a
yes.
little bit, and then you're gonna share your story, and yeah, we'll roll from there. So in South Africa, the morning of the election, obviously you guys, it was nighttime for you, morning for me. I woke up and it was looking good for Trump, but it wasn't, we had that whole interference the time before in that night. And I went on a walking meditation and I just heard Spirit saying to me, breakthrough, breakthrough, pivot, pivot. And I was like, I don't understand. And like it was just wasn't anything else, just breakthrough, breakthrough, pivot, pivot, like changing of the guard, changing of the guard. So I went and I felt this like building of joy, this building of bliss in me. And it was around maybe 10, 11 in South Africa that it was like
Mhm.
cold, And I was like, is this really it? Is this really it? Is this really it? And I could feel in that moment, it was over like an hour or two period. We literally quantum
Mhm.
jumped. We literally
Oh,
jumped from a
mhm.
timeline that has been pulling us over the last 4 years into
Yes.
a more lead dense based service to self reality
Mhm.
that feeds this matrix, this dark structure. And we literally quantum leaped from like here, boom, into a new reality, into a quantum crystalline, the original timeline that we were supposed to be on. And so much, like, I can't tell you, I cried the joy.
Mhm.
And so much information has been flooding through since then. So I obviously invited my mom over and some friends. I was like, we have to have a celebration that evening, a bit of champagne and a party. Well, not a party, but a celebration. And the next morning I was talking to my mom and I just said to her, like, I can just feel this. We are in a completely new reality. We
Mhm.
literally
Mhm.
are in a new earth. And then Spirit was showing me how, the day before, the day before the election, I couldn't do an interview with you or a chat with
Mhm.
you. And I jumped on YouTube and the message was, let go of the attachments around the outcome because
Mhm.
I was still feeling a timeline for interference, which I will say I think they did try and interfere, but it was too big, the landslide, in order for it to actually
Mhm.
have um, any clout. But I had spoken about these stargates and geometries, and I said we just have to let go of the outcome. And we have to align to the highest timeline and just to the frequencies of these specific geometries. And I was talking about galactic support coming through alpha, beta, theta. This is from deep within the galactic center. And literally everyone did their jobs. And I was like, I
Oh.
want to hug every
Mhm.
single light worker. I want to literally grab everyone and say thank you because the last 4 years has
Mhm.
been a shit show. Let's be honest. Personally,
Yes.
what we've had to go through, it's felt like we're moving through mud, like everything's slow, manifestation feels hard, even when you understand the principles. And then it all, when you get information and then it builds up over time for coherence, it all made so much sense. I cried with my mom and I just said, everything I've been through, I would do it 100 times over for this exact moment. And
Mhm.
again, it's not about Trump. It's about a breaking down of the old. It's
Mhm.
about changing of the guard. It's about the emissaries of peace and light. And I cannot tell you, we cannot even fathom how big this is, what we all did. Because didn't sleep well that night. My son was crying in his sleep. Every single person I spoke to around the world was having major dreams, sleeping. We were all
Mhm.
doing our work. We were basically doing what we all came here
Oh,
to do. And I just wanted to say, and to anyone who's watching, thank you and
mm,
congratulations, because as I've always said, we're all part of this puzzle. We're all a specific piece. And I literally was like, I need to get it. Starla, you have to send me a mega cap. I need a mega cap. And he was like, I need to dance around the streets. Like, I don't know if you can feel it. So there's so much more I could say without dominating the conversation. I'm so blown away by this. And it's such a huge shift. It's such a huge shift. Um, and so, yeah, that's from me to you. And
mm.
there's more to say, but tell me how you're doing, how you're feeling, and what you're experiencing.
Well, I tell you, gosh, you and I have been working. My husband has been working with you. I've been on this journey very, very specifically for around 15 years, very targeted for around 15 years. Mostly have known all my life about spirituality and gifts and powers. And I don't even like to call them powers, but gifts, whatever, very intuitive. So generally 99.9% of the time, I am the go-to person because I have that ability to rise above, keep my perspective, change anything immediately that doesn't feel right, look right, smell right. And boy, on Tuesday, I was in a foul mood. Um, my husband and I have been going through some hard times, just with a lot of generational lineage type of work. And he's out of town, and I was hammering him. I was so ugly to him, and I would argue and hang up and think, who was that? Like, what am I doing? I feel like I know now that he probably reached out to you. I know he reached out to my sister-in-law, my beautiful sister-in-law Tina. Like, she's not okay, she's not okay. And I couldn't put my finger on it, I just couldn't. And it's a lot of fast reels, repeat, ugliness, just you're a fool, you don't see, you've got your eyes closed, you're refusing to look at the truth, and just all of this attack. And fortunately, when you reached out and messaged me and you just said, get into meditation, and so I did. And very, very similar. Bryce was having a hard time sleeping. I hadn't slept. There was a level of exhaustion. My husband's gone. I'm just tired. And so I finally got Bryce to bed, and I laid down and I just started meditating. And I saw this beautiful collective. And for lack of better descriptions, it was like we were all light beams interconnected, shielding Gaia, shielding Gaia. And there was these light beams coming in, and literally just like in a Star Wars movie, just boom, hitting that shield and boom, hitting that shield. And every time it hit, it affected some one individual that refused to break the shield, that just refused to break the shield. And the pain that each and every individual was going through, because of taking that direct hit but refusing to let go of the collective. I was like you. I was just crying and crying and crying. And at the end of that meditation, I just had this very clear vision that the attack had subsided, and I closed the door behind me, and we were in a beautiful new earth. And it was, and then I was so relieved and I was so weepy. And I called my husband and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've attacked you. And it really had nothing to do with you. And yet I used all of this ugliness from the past of everything you could imagine to just attack him. And he was so beautifully strong. And oh my gosh, I get weepy now thinking about it. Farah, had we not met you, had we not done this work, he and I may very well not have been able to survive that window of time. He would have taken that personally. He would have shut down. And I mean, he was literally like, I will get on a plane, I will fly home. How can I help you? And I've never had him be so strong spiritually. I'm so grateful to you.
Wow, beautiful. You both of you guys are so amazing. So, and he's fantastic and he adores you and he loves you. And it's been such an honor to hold space with both you guys. I think you are the most incredible couple. And yeah, we will, I'll leave it there. But I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you were able to. And sometimes when something like that happens, it's giving him the opportunity to hold that
Mhm,
space for you. Because
mhm,
as women, we tend to do that all the time for others, but we need our men to be doing stuff like that. And
mhm,
I think you were transmuting a lot of energy through the body. I have another friend who, after post the election, she had such a bad headache. She was felt absolutely, and she had no idea. And I was like, no, the light got stuck in your body. She's a channel. She's a conduit for light to run through and out of her body. Like
mhm,
we're all doing things slightly differently, but we've all
mhm,
got a different geometry, makeup, signature, sound wave, sine wave, blueprint. And so we're all working with it in a very individual way, even if you don't know how you're working with it. But 100%, I also saw we aligned with all these stargates. We aligned to
mhm,
the frequencies, and we just anchored. And
mhm,
I cannot tell you. I literally was like, I said to my mom, I was like, everything I've been
mhm,
through, the bravery to get online and
mhm,
talk about the things I talk about, and the people who laughed at me and spoke behind my back and thought I was crazy,
mhm,
and I said everything I've walked through, becoming a single mom, the financial struggles that I've had. I was like, I felt like when we moved and jumped into this new timeline on Wednesday, was it Wednesday morning? It was like a collective, like I could breathe out, and
mhm,
spirit was like, we had to do it, right? So
mhm,
the other side of this coin is that with these last 4 years were also about disclosure, right? So we had to
mhm,
slowly over time, um, things had to come out, up and out organically. So that shadow pushing up, that shadow pushing up, but also within ourselves, the micro, we did. I have never in my life been beat down so many times and said, I'm going to not be a victim. I'm going to get back up. How can I heal this? How can I work on this? How can I
mhm,
love more? How can I open my heart more? And there
mhm,
would have been times, like, in this journey where I've gone, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can be.
mhm,
I just want to leave. It's hard. And I just
mhm.
have this feeling of, I would do this 100,000 times over
Oh my gosh.
for the
It's
outcome
so
that we stepped into.
it's so amazing. And what keeps resonating with me is that like this word collective. And when you think about all that we thought we were going to accomplish in 2020, and again, I'd like to just like reiterate, this is not all about Trump. This is
No, I wasn't
this
talking
is so massively um, a different scale than just him as an individual. I do believe as well that he's a seed point for what's to occur. But when you think about what we've accomplished in these last 4 years of just that collective, and I kept thinking
and
as I
the growth
laid
and the
there after that
sharing.
meditation, like if we were missing one piece of the puzzle, like one person who hadn't stepped up and done the work and had the faith and the bravery to hang on and create that shield. I mean, we could this I think that's why we had previously discussed there's so many potentials of what could come. And it was very difficult to put our finger on because I don't think we had an ability to tap into how many people have done the work, driven the shadow up and out of their lives, healed hurts, eliminated contracts, just cleaned house on a massive level. And I kind of remember, I'll have to go back and look at the previous videos, but I kind of remember maybe in the first video that we did where I had a brief moment where I said, wow, I had a flash that maybe this just
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
forward,
you
pulls
did.
off like no big deal. And I'm still having a little
And
bit of trouble.
we had that in a session. We had that in the
Yeah.
session together. We're like,
So
oh, this actually could just go ahead.
yeah. And I'm still kind of like in that hesitation, a little, of like, well, no, something could still happen. And obviously something still could, but as long as the collective stays at that level and continues to spread that love, oh my gosh, just like and incrementally things are going to get better and better and better. And the dread and the hurt and the exhaustion of people is just going to peel away. Um, I've seen so many great things. Interestingly enough, I saw Robert F. Kennedy has created a website, and I do believe it's called Policies for the People, and you.com. And you can go on there. If you have a suggestion for a policy, you can put it in there, and then they start collecting all of them. And if you see something that you like, you can vote on it. Um,
Wow.
and it just reminds me as well how you and I have previously discussed that in the future, we may very well be voting on policy instead of people. But it just is indicative of this massive change of the way things have always been that we've always known our lifetimes, and many, many more past that. So I'm super excited about what all could occur.
Absolutely. And I want to just touch on a couple of things you said there, because 100% it's not about Trump. He's a representation of a breaking through of the old structure. And
Mhm.
so it's also, I spoke about, I think even in September, I did an interview with AJ and Nicola and Magenta Pixie, and I was talking and there was light coming through on my face, and I was talking about it.
Oh, I
Like
remember.
changing of the guard,
Hmm.
and more sort of a round table of knights that are
Hmm.
governing and doing it in a different way. So
Hmm.
it's not one guy. I don't think Trump's just going to be like the one guy. It's going to become,
Hmm.
I see it, and this is, what does this mean for us? I see this rolling out through past America or into different countries where people
Hmm.
choosing, hey, I want to be part of this movement, and this way of doing things. I still think there's that splitting that's going to occur, and you can see that through some people who are quite devastated about Trump's win. It's like they've got blinkers on. They think they're in like, the doom and gloom war, and
Hmm.
actually truth is actually we've moved into the golden age. um, and so, what does this mean for us going forward? It's obviously not going to happen overnight, but because as Earth works, there is a linear time frame, an incremental process that happens.
Hmm.
But this means that I see manifestation because of the new timeline, the one that we're supposed to be on, happening much quicker,
Yes.
individually and collectively. Um, things that felt like we were moving through mud and difficult to work with. I just feel like also because it's a more service to others timeline, this is now also rewards coming back for those who are service to others, rather than what the old system, the matrix or luciferic AI consciousness, it rewards in that system service to self behavior. So
Hmm.
I got the image of the scales being rebalanced.
Mm.
So it's incredible. And when I asked Spirit about it, we had to go through these 4 years. We had to mature. We
Hmm.
had to level up. And when I asked around the prediction stuff, that we were never supposed to predict a no, because it take away from the work we had to do. We had to be in complete neutral observer, and we had to be unattached.
Hmm.
Because if we were too attached, that's actually coming from a fear. So
Hmm.
we had to really do the work around whatever the outcome. We're still doing our work, and we know that we are we know that we are divinely supported. And I think at
Hmm.
that mass level of like, hey, we're quite mature now. When in 2020, when everyone was devastated that he lost, it was like a massive, that's a pulling down. It's a loose, you can loose that energy of like, yeah, all the light workers are
Hmm.
kicked to the curb. And so with us going, hey, we don't know how this is going to turn out, it was perfect. It had to be
Hmm.
like that. Is
So
why
that,
mediums don't get all the information,
mhm.
because it's collective.
Uh,
So
and that collective word just keeps coming to my mind. You know, I've had plenty of success professionally, and I've been blessed with, having some incredible leaders that I've worked under and learned so many incredible gifts of how to, lead people. But when you have a leader that can um, get a force of people to buy into and commit to, that loyalty, just hard work, bought in to achieve the goal. And I feel like that's what these 4 years really did for us. When you think about how um, insignificant most people felt in 2020, and especially when they felt like their vote didn't count, it, and to think of the work that each of us have done, everyone out there has done that has just tried to view this storyline from a different perspective and maintain hope and hang on and be kind and do the work. It just We needed this 4 years for the ultimate buy-in of more souls, to create that shield,
No, absolutely. It is all perfectly divinely timed and
isn't
aligned.
it?
It is, and I do think because also this opens up the grids, this timeline, for even more cosmic intergalactic rays of light and support to
Yes.
come through, which can be uncomfortable for those who haven't deep dived or they still have work to do. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying we're not going to move through moments of uncomfortability, even those of us who've done a lot of work, because we know it's
Hmm.
like layers, right? But
Hmm.
it's 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 incredible because there is a mass amount of people who that's why we call the way showers that
Hmm.
held the space, that have been holding the space. And our Starla, it's what does the future look like? Well, there is some potentiality for them to try and turn around and say that Trump rigged the election and try to do to him what was done to him.
Hmm.
But from what I'm getting, or for some interference. I mean, that's one potentiality. There are a couple of other things they could try and pull. But what I'm getting is there's no going back. Anything they try and do will backfire because the collective joy and work that we did together trumps any of
Hmm.
the dark stuff they're trying to do, any of the dark
Hmm.
magic. So I just got like, we are never going back. This is
Hmm.
done. We have literally hopped into a new reality. Like,
Hmm.
how amazing is that?
You said something that, and I think I've brought this up to you a time or two before, but I've been hearing that golden age, the quote golden age, come out of Trump's mouth quite a bit leading up to the election and then post-election. Even in his speech that night, his victory speech, he was committing to launching the golden age for everyone. And I've seen some people who are very religious, and they think that Trump is claiming to be the Messiah. And again, I would like to encourage people that we have this opportunity where we've been shown a way to change the perspective of something and choose the lighter side. So, as something strikes you as wrong or ugliness, or it's dimming your faith and hope, just remind yourself that black has to exist for white to exist, ugliness or light or dark or whatever. It doesn't matter what word you use. Does it matter that he is using a word called the golden age? It simply means something good. That's
Yeah.
it. it's
Yeah.
it's not claiming, and you can start to tear it down if you choose to, but then you have to pause and realize you are choosing that storyline.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that he's using that word because it's been prophesized the golden age for so
Hmm.
long. So we
Hmm.
have different terminologies for it. We have New Earth. We have restoration of the 5D. We have the Age of Aquarius. We've got the Golden Age. So
Hmm.
absolutely, it's all about goodness. And no, Trump is not the Messiah. um, he's definitely not. But this is much, much bigger than Trump. And I
Yes.
I was not prepared. I went into this election going, I'll do what Spirit asks me to do. I'm going to hold no
Mhm.
attachments, no fears. I'm going to align to the specific geometries. I'm going to do what I'm being asked to do in terms of the frequency that I need to hold with my body. But I was not prepared for the quantum leap we just went through. I was like, yes, bring it. Like it's like I literally have been. I can feel like I
Mhm.
can feel this like like this newness, there's new
Mhm.
light codes, there's new information to access. I mean, everything is going to just accelerate. Everything's going to catalyze so much quicker.
Mhm.
And man, it feels so good after these 4 years. It feels so good. Feels so good.
It's
New Earth is here.
amazing, super amazing, and even in the victory speech, I believe when JD Vance, was brought to the microphone to speak, Robert, Kennedy, I mean, so many of them are saying we have to focus on the children. Children need to be healthy. It's absolutely horrible that we have sick children in this day and age. And
And children that are being trafficked. You know what?
yes,
P. Diddy and his cronies, now that Trump's in, they are
uh,
sorry. Like,
and
and
then on
also
the
all the child trafficking can come out now.
so I think I was telling some friends it really feels like that timeline separating, and becoming very, very distinct. I've heard a lot of people talk about ascending to five-dimensional plane that, will all still exist, in this same earth, but it's difficult for me to explain. You're probably your eloquent words could absolutely say what I'm trying to say. But I felt like this timeline split, and literally that night there were news commentators that were melting down on live television, like, what is wrong with this country? How could we have elected a president that's a criminal, a felon? How could we, you know elect someone who's threatened to put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad? And I'm just thinking to myself, the inability to see both sides of the coin, absolutely real to them. Absolutely real.
No, absolutely real. Absolutely real. But the great thing is that the illusion, it's actually an illusion what the people are seeing. It's an
Hmm.
illusion. There is an opportunity because we've hit over that tipping point, right?
Hmm.
So the consciousness has gotten far along enough now, which we weren't actually there yet in 2020. And the dark showed their hand a lot over the last 4 years. So the consciousness is what also pulls. So it's individual and then it's collective, and then pulls to hopefully those people that are stuck in that
Hmm.
they're still stuck almost in that timeline or in that experience, that for the world to come up out of the over their eyes and for them to actually see the truth rather than the illusion. But again, that also comes down to some souls are not ready to end. For
That's
them,
true.
they're actually not ready to end their experience under this heavily polarized um, and hijacked reality, because it's,
Right.
as I've spoken about before. But the Earth, she won because Gaia
Hmm.
said, I can't do it anymore. And so you're going to have to go and find another planet to incarnate into if you want to have these very extreme experiences. So that's a win for Earth. It's a win for universes and galaxies. We've spoken about before how what's happening here affects not just our universe, but multiple others, a ripple out effect. So I promise you, the galactic support coming through, like the deep, deep, deep support,
Uh,
was insane. I mean, there's a lot of investment in what happens here on Earth. So I don't know. We
you
just
feel
we need to
propelled to
celebrate.
say thank you, thank you, thank you to any and everyone that was just plugging towards the greatest and highest good. I mean, gosh, I don't have that skill to like perceive all of those entities, whether it's a pixie, a butterfly, a unicorn, a lion, a star, a light, anything galactic. I just I do know at some point in our evolution we will be able to all be able to see and recognize how much good is out there fighting for the same thing.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that this timeline shift also puts us on a trajectory of possible actual contact with good high dimensional beings.
Mm.
Um, that whole space thing coming up and out. So yeah, Starla, I need a mega cap.
Oh, I don't have one myself, but maybe I'll go and get us both one. And
We need to get one, and then we need to do like videos running through the streets. No, it was so funny. I was like, why do I not have a bag of cap? Um, I think it's going to be very important over the next coming months to tap into this joy, into this win, tap into this timeline, because when we still got a way to go, and it's not
Mhm.
like we're completely liberated yet. As I said, I
Oh,
don't think we're going back, but we're still in a space of bifurcation, and there's still darkness that exists on our planet, and there's still a lot of work to do. This is actually where the work starts. There's
mhm,
children that need to be helped and saved, and there's a massive cleanup. Actually, there's a massive cleanup that needs to happen now. um, so we have to, I just want, for me, from this interview, this chat, I want people to take away how amazing they are when they don't know, how am I doing it, am I doing it right, what is my
right,
purpose? You
right.
did it.
Thumbs up.
Know your power and
Mhm.
continue. Don't stop. We're gaining
Yeah.
momentum now.
And I think if there's one takeaway that I'd like to give for others today, it's always fun to celebrate. Um, but I want to remind people to be humble and kind and full of grace. And for any soul that is in your vicinity that you have an opportunity to shine in front of, that is right on the verge of figuring it all out, right on the verge of making that next step, you want to be that conduit for them, to make that step. So yes, we can celebrate, we can be proud, we can be super excited, but oh, please, let's not take this energy and destroy it by gloating and putting
Mm.
people down and creating that division still of you didn't get it and I did. That's not as much as I thought I knew and as wonderful as I thought I had gotten myself to a place. I was on that brink of collapse on Tuesday. So I it was a good lesson for me as well to realize, you just collectively we have to band together. We have to be kind and spread love.
We do. And Starla, I've also been doing this for a long time, and I've had, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, I've had breakdowns. I can't do this. I can't. uh, I mean, the one evening I read my son a book and I just cried.
Hmm.
And I'm a very open person. A lot of people, oh, he's such a terrible mother, will have an opinion about that. I think there is beauty in the authenticity and the
Yes.
vulnerability. But this year, when I said kick my ass, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. I had
Yeah.
moments, actually, still powered through, read the book, but cried. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's only happened once, me crying while reading a book to my son, but
Hmm.
that doesn't take away from the work I've done. It's also our ability to move, how quickly we move through these things, right? So some
Oh,
people
yes.
feel stuck in what you were stuck in for days, weeks, months. Like,
Hmm.
we are not bypassing the human experience here. So we feel it, we move through it, we go, oh shit, this is what it actually is. Boom, boom, moved, done. Now you feel 100 times better, and you're like, boss that one. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I can't let it go without being said, how much I adore my son Bryce, and he is an incredibly beautiful soul. I'm so grateful that he chose to fight this hard fight, and live this storyline, um, with a brain injury. And he's nonverbal, although he does a really good job communicating. He was so ready for bed Tuesday night. And I said, come on, don't you want to wait up and see if Trump wins? No. And I said, are you sure he's going to win? Yeah. I said, so you just want to go to bed? And he's like, yeah. And I kid you not, Wednesday morning when he woke up and I walked into his bedroom, I said, guess what? Trump won. And he went, yeah, like I knew.
Well, I mean, he's super connected. These are the we can do another round, little tea time around these children that are nonverbal and how amazing they are, like
Mhm,
these souls.
mhm.
But yeah, he's amazing. I love his energy so much. It's so beautiful. I did the same thing when I went to fetch my little dude. I was like in his ear. I was like, guess what? Trump won. Well done. And then he was like, oh, Trumpy, and he gave me a high five.
I know. I love that, those beautiful souls, they minimize everything. Minimize, um, "It's going to be okay. Take a deep breath," and, he's Bryce has always been that way even before his accident, so he's always been one that could ground people, but it was so beautiful that he was just like, "Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen."
So neutral about it.
Mhm. Oh
He's
my
probably
gosh.
been living in the diamond crystalline timeline the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, come join me, you people. Come join me.
So
Oh my
fun.
goodness. Well, I think we're in store for some there I mean, who knows? That's the beauty is that you chose this life, you chose this incarnation, you chose this route. And to some degree, we have to become okay with just going through the motions of getting through it. So, how much, I mean, this would be boring if we were watching. I'll use this as many are talking about it's a pantomime, it's a movie, get your popcorn. I mean, how boring would that be if there was no ability to alter the outcome? So,
And
um,
it was not set. I wouldn't, well, from what I see, and I'm not God, I don't know anything, everything. I know,
absolutely.
but it was not set for him to win, from what I
Mhm.
could see, up
Yep.
until like literally to the wire.
Mhm.
It was like and that's why I say, well done to the star seeds. You guys
Yes.
let go of attachments. You did the work. You
Now,
aligned.
I don't know, did you hear some of this rumblings that in one of the states, like towards 10 o'clock that night, they were reporting, oh, a postal truck has arrived with potentially a million more ballots, blah, blah, blah. And it did start to look like, oh boy, here we go.
Okay.
But there were so many people holding that space. And I do believe, again, after I had that vision, that was just one more attempt at that negative frequency attacking that shield. And the collective just said, no
Nope.
way, no, no way.
Pew pew
But
pew pew. Pew.
yep, it was, but how quickly it got shut down. And it's like, we're not doing that again. This is not going to happen. And I don't know if you've heard, but it sounds like that we've taken that Senate and the House. And so it will be a full sweep of Republicans. And so the ability to get things done will be much more expedient.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised because it's how it
right.
needs.
hmm And I'm hopeful that expediency by which things will start to change will give those that are so shielded right now this opportunity to go, oh wow, this isn't so bad, or I love to see the light come on for people, so I'm hopeful that good things will start rolling out massively and allow people a chance to breathe and not live in fear and open their eyes, their heart, to grow and expand, and because that's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. As I said, I still see that there will be old Earth and new Earth running alongside. Some people are they're just not ready to, but
hmm
as it grows, it takes on a sweeping momentum. So
hmm
I think we're gonna have lots to talk about in the coming days. I do need to
hmm
run. I'm going to
hmm
pop this onto YouTube. I love you so much. Thank you so much to you, Starla, for all the work you've done. And to anyone who's watching this, you're not watching this unless you're wanting to laugh at me and Starla, or you're a Starseed. Pretty much think it's only the Starseeds, or the way showers, or the awakened and aware and doing the individual alchemy journey. Thank you to you guys for everything you've done. And
Absolutely.
yeah, your service. Just please give yourself a big hug and a pat on the back and carry on. Don't give up. Keep going. Just keep going. Is
Mm.
my Love you lots, and we will
Love you.
chat soon. And we'll schedule something for next week again. I'm sure we'll have lots of things, but I think crypto is an interesting thing to talk about.
Yes.
Children who are nonverbals, and there's so many topics. Now that we've made it, we've broken through into the right timeline that we were supposed to be on. Although it's all been perfectly as it's meant to be, we are finally back on track. Love
Feels
you, and
good.
lots of love to everyone. Mwah. Bye bye.
Bye.